Hi, folks. I am so delighted to report that my new book, Family Dynamics, Transforming the Hidden Patterns That Shape Us, is out on the newsstands, out in the bookstores, out on Amazon, and has already received a really favorable response. Over 60,000 folks have responded to the YouTube clip from Chapter 1 on how to draft a genogram. Genograms are fascinating things, ways to understand our family through 3 or more generations, the structure, but also the traits and the behaviors that get passed down from one generation to the next. In another chapter, we look at triangulation and, unfortunately, estrangements, which are on the rise these days. Why do they happen? How can we deal with them? Also, we look at boundaries. How do you create healthy boundaries within your family and for you personally? And also, in another chapter, we look at roles and traditions. You know, the roles that you get when you're a little child, sometimes they're thrust on you, sometimes you take them on. We tend to carry them into our adulthood, in our relationships, both personal and professional. And so recognizing the roles that you were put into as a young child and whether you want to continue playing that role later on in life is part of what one of the chapters addresses. We also look at family secrets. And I promise you, it's not a question of whether your family has a secret, but what it is and what to do with it. All families have secrets, myths, and lies. There's a chapter on that as well. We look at developmental stages, both individual developmental stages that most people go through and the challenges that each stage brings, but also what we call the family life cycle, how your family moves through the cycle of life and the challenges that it creates. Knowing about these things can better prepare you for facing the challenges that come. Also, how the family adapts. Adaptation in families can range quite a bit. And there's lots of events that create and require adaptation. Divorce in a family, death of a loved one, addictions or alcoholism, all sorts of things that we look at each of these different issues and talk about how families can adapt to them. And this book ends with a chapter on thriving. What does a thriving family look like and how can your family thrive? So I'm delighted to share the news about this book. I hope you'll take an opportunity to read it, and please let me know what you think. Thanks, everybody.